Okay, I want to address a question that gets asked a lot about statements, which are not really statements. And let me explain what that means. Okay, let's open up an account here. This is going to be a little hard because these all have old transactions in here because these are test accounts in a sandbox. But it's fine. It'll work for the purposes of illustrating this. Okay, so when you're looking at these transactions, and you can see the same thing on the customer side. You can see the transactions, and there's a statement tab as well. And I just want to clarify that it does say statement, but that's really the format. It's not a real statement. There's no way to get a statement in the portal. There's no API that QuickBooks offers to generate a statement. They just don't have it. It doesn't exist. All we can get is transactions, and even with the transactions that we pull, we don't pull everything. We get invoices, payments primarily. We can sort of show credit memos and sales receipts and things like that, but we don't have journal entries and adjusting entries, although there's some test implementations of that, but we don't have the full picture to build a real statement. And even if we did, it would be pretty hard to do. There's not a way for us to know. There's no way to know a point in time, because in order to generate a real statement, you have to know a point in time balance. So balance as of this date, and then show me everything, say, from before that till now. There's no way using the APIs available for us to get that data. And it's especially true for QuickBooks Desktop because there's not a real-time connection to your desktop. It's just synchronizing transactions. So we don't know. We would have to know what is the balance on every single date in your company file in order to build an actual semi-accurate picture of an actual statement. So the only other way to get it, the only other way to do it would be to generate statements that we could then somehow push to the portal, like from the desktop. But then if anything changed, any transaction changed since you generated that, you'd have to rebuild all those documents again. So it's not even feasible to do it, to even show an actual statement. It'd be cool if they had it, if there was a way that we could generate one, or that we could do it through their SDK, through their API, but there's no such API call. So, and I'm guessing it's because of how difficult it would be to maintain that type of a document. So what we can do is we can generate this. It's really, should say, this is a statement format. So the formatting is a statement. So if I click on all to show these again. And all that means is it's in transaction date order, so from oldest to newest, and the running balance is the running balance that we back into. So we know the balance on the account is 400. Let me see if I can move that over. We know the balance on the account on this one is 435. So we back into that number here, and then we just reverse up this balance, and then we just calculate that based on this transaction, this one, and we just back into these numbers. So they're not real. But if you looked up the balance of this account on, say, February 13th of 2017, it's probably not 30250. That's the number we think it would be, probably, only based on the fact that we know what the balance is here, and then we're just going to back up the tree. We're going to back up the list of transactions for that particular customer to try to reach that balance that we think it would probably be on that date. But we don't know. There could be some other adjustments in there. There could be journal entries. There could be other things that we're not aware of in the account. So it's sort of accurate but only if your statement or your account summary is from some date till today. If you pull up some other range of time, then we definitely don't know what the ending balance is. Because we don't know what the balance is on that end date. We only know what the balance is. We only know what the balance is today. We don't know what the balance is on any given date. So if you were to pull up a range in here, that's not going to work. In fact, I'm probably gonna, as I think about it now, I'm probably gonna have to disable that. I'm gonna have to change this to be where you can choose a range. Like you could change a range, but the ranges are all some date up till today, right? So this year to date, last year to date, like it has to be, everything has to be to date. The last day of this statement has to always be whatever the date we know this balance to be, which is today. Date ranges are completely well, they're not useless. They do let you view transactions in this format, in this order, but then you have to kind of disregard what that running balance is. It's just a pseudo running balance. It's a running balance that we know about. All right, but if you look in QuickBooks, don't expect that these numbers are going to correspond to the balance on that date. It absolutely probably would not. All right. So I think at this point, my to do as of as of today, as of May 15th, is to put in something in our development pipeline to change the name of this tab, or maybe put a tooltip or some kind of a helper thing here, and also to modify. I don't know. We may have to have it where if you want to choose a range, we're not going to show the running balance, because it doesn't really make any sense. It's not a true running balance. So I hope that sort of explains it. It's not a limitation based on what we've coded, what's in the app. It's just data that we just can't get to it. All right. So it's not. I would love to do it, but we don't have access to it. All right. They just don't publish it. So we can only work with what they give us. All right. So that's it. That's the explanation.